All right, real question. Do you lie on your driver's license about your height and your weight? 844-967-2789, because at least the silliest take I think anyone can have from the already viral, already historic mugshot of number 45 yesterday is that, really? You weigh 215 pounds. It sounded so mean, but I literally read that. I was like, wait, what? Because I'm thinking of Mike, my husband, who's pretty trim, who's also 6'3",
Yeah.
and is 215 pounds.
I would not say I lie on my driver's license. I just stopped updating it many years ago.
Got it.
There you go.
So at one
Sin
point,
of
I was
omission.
this weight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was not a lie once.
Celebrities, they're just like us.
Yes, exactly.
But yes, indeed. He described himself as 6'3", 215 pounds, strawberry blonde hair, and now we have it. We have his first mugshot. And across the political spectrum, people are really enjoying having it. I saw The Onion put out a joke last night that I laughed out loud from. It's like a stock image photo of like a young, actually strawberry blonde, bearded and haired man waiting in front of a computer with his hands in front of his face, just like anxious.
Yeah.
And the headline from The Onion is "Nation's Liberals Anxiously Waiting with Unzipped Pants to Jerk Off to Trump Mugshot."
Jesus God. Good morning, everybody.
But it's like, what kind of unifying thing has there been that is both liberals and Trump supporters embracing this mugshot, right?
Yeah, I mean, one side gets to be like, yeah, we got him. We have an unflattering picture. I'm sorry, there have been unflattering pictures for decades.
Well, mugshots are never flattering. Like,
But-
we saw all of the ones that came in the day before, and
Yeah.
there's a reason why Tom Ford, the designer,
Yeah.
will not eat in a restaurant if there is overhead lighting.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
It's very unflattering.
Yeah. So he only goes to restaurants where the lit from the floor up.
Well, no, there's like lamps.
Oh, I see. So it's mood lighting.
Yes.
But the other side too is like, yeah, he did it somehow. He got caught, and he's gonna be. It's the excitement on both sides is just kind of ridiculous. At the end of the day, we're a country whose president has been indicted like a lot.
Well, indicted 4 times with 91 counts.
Yeah.
And even the first time was unprecedented.
Yeah. So enjoy your comedy for a moment, but let's just also get back to reality.
Fair. It's Friday. I just didn't want to get too serious.
I'm not
on a Friday.
Here the thing is I'm here to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm here to be good.
This show is here to be fun.
But also, I'm
supposed
just
to be.
Remember, the more you know.
Oh, speaking of that, maybe we'll do this next week. I was scrolling through. So after like a 13-hour day with the debate on Wednesday, I was very excited to just veg out and not do much. And so sometimes when that is what's on the schedule is a lot of TikTok consumption.
Oh boy.
And I found a 2-minute compilation of basically all of the like produced by vignettes from the 90s. So like The Simpsons. So it's like you think about all the shows and when the credits roll and then it ends.
Yeah.
And it was like the most nostalgic, like, 2 minutes I've had in a very long time.
Was it like a little hug of like, I'll take you back?
Yeah, it was like a hug from your childhood of all like Touchstone pictures and all of the different things that we watched as kids and the production vignette after it. And it was like, oh yeah, just like a touchstone in the back of your brain.
Put on your cross-color gear, kids. Yeah. We're taking a stroll down memory lane.
Yes. But back to the mugshot. But Trump's mugshot immediately took the throne in the Hall of Fame as famous arrest photos. I mean, I'm trying to think of this now in the same way, like college posters had Frank Sinatra's mugshot. Like, what are some of the other Johnny Cash's mugshot? Who else's mugshot is like a poster?
Oh, James Brown. Well, that's not a poster, but it's like more funny.
That one's more infamous because it's like Gary Busey's.
Yeah.
I'm talking about ones where like people are. it's like they put it on their wall because they're like, yeah, he's a rebel. But it spread across the internet within seconds of being released. There was two. There was one that was fake and there was one that was real. That I don't know why the purpose of the fake one, because it actually looked pretty similar to the real the
Yeah.
fake one. The real one looked pretty
The real
similar.
one, just he was tanner in the fake one.
In the fake one?
Yeah. Elvis Presley being arrested, David Bowie, Tim Allen when he got arrested.
Did they make that into a poster?
I'm sure they made it to a poster. Yeah, I'm looking at a poster right now. It's in Etsy. So members of the Rolling Stones. Oh my gosh. How can I forget? Oh god, what's his name? Narcos.
Pablo Escobar?
Escobar, yeah.
Oh.
With a beautiful smile on his face, like I'm gonna be out before the flashbulb goes off.
Are the cocaine hippos still rocking?
What?
Do you remember hearing about this?
No.
He used to hide cocaine in hippopotamuses.
Oh,
and they were still there
no.
earlier this year. I remember the headlines. They were like moving them or something, and I don't remember what happened to them.
Okay.
But there's such a thing as a cocaine hippo, not to be confused with cocaine bear. But yes, and the bigger I think so on Wednesday, as we were predicting stuff that was going to happen for the night. One of the things I was thinking was beyond Trump obviously not going to debate and also having his own interview scheduled to air on X, formerly known as Twitter, with Tucker Carlson. I had predicted that Wednesday night he was going to go back on Twitter as another distraction.
Yeah.
I was a day late. He is now back on Twitter to tweet his own mugshot. Again,
control the narrative,
but also like I'm saying, like to take back, like to reclaim the mugshot. And so he's tweeting it out. And I think Elon retweeted it saying next level.
Oh my God, you're.
But unlike the criminal cases against ex-president, the mugshot has the potential to unite people across the political spectrum under this one shared goal of not only just enjoying it, but also making money off of it. This is being called Etsy's Vendors Super Bowl. Online sellers prepped designs in advance to quickly cash in on people's desires to absolutely own their political enemies through T-shirts. For months before the real mugshot was taken, people with rudimentary canvas skills had been selling loads of fake mugshot merchandise to MAGA supporters and haters alike. Plus, Trump's presidential campaign will almost certainly use his mugshot as marketing collateral. In April, the Trump campaign marketed its own not guilty T-shirts and mugs featuring a fake mugshot, which helped to raise more than $10 million since his first visit to criminal court. Will you get Trump merch?
No.
844-967-2789. For whether you hate him or you love him, are you getting Trump merch? I would love to hear from you. 844-967-2789.
I will buy Trump merch on one condition. That's independently made and goes to artists who are cool. You know, like that kind of. I'm not buying a thing from his store.
No.
But if there's some cool artist who has it on a tote bag with some snarky comment, I'll give you my $35.
I just typed in, I'm on Etsy, which originally was very much independent artists. There's now a lot of not. But I'm just trying to see Trump mugshot. Let's see what comes up immediately. Yeah. Drop shipping, man. That goes fast. And there's not even stuff that's necessarily that creative. It's just indicted mugshot laminated sticker. There's a lot of mugs.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of T-shirts. Those are the most. Keychains. Pretty much anything you can print a picture on. Koozie. Would you get a Trump mugshot koozie?
Depending on what it said. It has to say something, though. It can't just be his picture. Because if I just have a koozie with his picture, I don't want people to think I support him. I want something snarky and mean about it, too.
How about a 9-picture grid of the different folks who have now turned themselves in the last 2 days that says the Rico Bunch? Would you wear that?
No.
No?
Nope. No, because once again, there's no delineation. People don't know enough about RICO law to know how you fall on the side. So Once it has to have clear, snarky commentary.
What if it was his mugshot, and then the text said, "I just want 11,780 votes."
That's funny. That comes close to maybe.
Have you seen? And this is if you've seen any funny Trump merch in the last 24 hours using the mugshot, I would love to hear what you've found so
Yes.
far. 844-967-2789. Thoughts on him getting back on Twitter, Greg Bach?
I'm surprised it took this long. Like, I'm really surprised it took this long for him to do it. I thought he'd throw a conniption fit at first when they let him back on, and then he kind of slowly. But yeah, I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, it's already a fire of total like chaos in there, so it's not like he's making it that much worse.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think? Do you care? Do you even?
Nah. So
I fight, but I fight with staying on Twitter or not all the time.
I know, so do I. But I do think it'll be interesting because I thought he was under contract with Truth Social in general, even though it's his.
Yeah.
Like, because it obviously loses almost all of its value if he's splitting, like if he's not going to be doing as much there as he is on Twitter.
Yeah.
Doesn't that just tank?
Well, that's maybe he's just on there like a little bit. Maybe the real fire is on Truth Social and on
the real fire.
Yeah, the real fire.
Bring the real fire. All right. Well, if you are going to buy any Trump merch, if you've seen any funny Trump merch that you would maybe not buy, but you just find entertaining, we would love to hear from you. 844-967-2789. We'll be back right after. Welcome back to As Goes Wisconsin. I'm Kristen Bry. We got Greg Bach on the board today. Happy Friday, August 25th. I'm officially a month out because
From what?
I'm getting induced on September 27th.
Induced
for my baby.
You're pregnant?
Yeah, looking at the date now, I was like, oh man, that is official. This week as Sunday will officially be a month.
Did you say you wanted to get induced, or did the doctor say we're going to do this?
The doctor said we're going to do that, and we actually talked about this on public service announcement with Dr. Kristen Lyerly, which I realized after the show was done. I was like, oh, we didn't say why we didn't do public service announcement yesterday. Totally missed that. We had such a great day of engagement yesterday that I think I just got caught up in the texts and the calls and everything post debate. But Dr. Lyerly had to be a doctor, and she had surgery during our time slot yesterday, which is why she was not here. But she will be back next week for our typical 11 a.m. public service announcement segment. But I'd asked her the day after we had talked about it with my doctor, and apparently there was a study, a pretty comprehensive, large study done as far as the medical benefits of inducing at 39 weeks between like lower stillbirth rates, lower C-section rates. It stays more sanitary inside of there because at a certain point, they start going to the bathroom in your uterus. Did you know that?
Now I do.
Now you do. Now that's
the more you know. I gotta download I gotta download that.
And I'm actually kind of excited about it because there's a part of me that's like, I've seen so many of my friends be a week overdue or 10 days overdue, and they end up having to get induced anyways. And then it's just that like waiting game. And there's a lot of things I'm chill about, but like I'm already pretty anxious to meet her and I'm excited. And so knowing that like, all right, this is happening by this date and I'm fine with it. So anyways, we were talking about Trump merch, and Tony on the live stream says that he's done. He says, I've been burned by my Miller time, and I think that's it for me on merch. What do you mean by burned? Like because nothing ended up coming from it, I guess? So you don't feel like you can wear it because then you get made fun of? I feel like I got made fun of a little bit. We made a clip out of an exchange we had on Wednesday. I was on Todd Alba's show with Trygve Olsen, who was a senior advisor for the Lincoln Project, who was kind enough. The Lincoln Project partnered with us on a lot of the event on Wednesday, and between Trygve and Rick Wilson, like it was fascinating getting to hear them talk as far as two guys who know where a lot of the GOP bodies are buried. But we were joking because besides Tucker's interview with Trump on Wednesday, prior to that, I hadn't realized, I was talking about how I hadn't realized that, like, despite his first, like, big splash when he premiered his show on Twitter and how many views he got at first, and people were kinda like, "Oh, like, this is like, he's gonna rebound, like, he doesn't need Fox, yada, yada." And then I had heard recently that he was just, like, hemorrhaging viewership, and so I made a joke about how that's like, "Oh, it's like the same thing as Threads," and which is also hemorrhaging users and active users at that. But then we posted it as a clip, and we got kinda roasted because, like, Tucker Carlson definitely had, like, 220 million views or something like that on his Trump interview. So,
Well,
hashtag outdated takes.
Kristen, don't take on those hot takes if you can't handle the repercussion. And it didn't work. I tried to play the music. Darn it! I was trying to bring in the more you know thing because I love that so much. Darn, that didn't work. Oh well, you know.
All right. Well, no other texts on, maybe people are not interested in the merch
No,
Trump,
I
it
guess
seems
yeah.
like.
I mean, the thing is that the indictments and the surrendering and everything was so hyped for so many days that when it finally happened, you're like, I literally looked at the picture and went, oh, and then I moved on. It didn't provide me any great joy. I'm sorry. I wish it did. I really wish it did. But we've seen it coming for so long now that
Yeah, I didn't really, it did nothing for me
yeah.
either, as far as, I wasn't excited. It was just, it was there, and it was one of those things where it's like, well, I guess we'll talk about it tomorrow, but that's about the amount of enthusiasm I had for it. But I also, like, was it a mistake for them to have it at all? Because prior to this, the 3 previous times, they did not do a mugshot.
Yeah.
So, like, this is the 4th set of criminal charges in 5 months. But, you know, prior to this, for New York and, Miami and DC, when he surrendered, there was no there's no purple walk, and I don't think there was any mug shots either. And so it's like, was this potentially a mistake? Besides, for, I'm sure the people who are making money off of it don't think it was a mistake, but it's also seemingly his campaign doesn't think it was a mistake because they're using it. But I think from the side of the prosecutors, and was it, does it give them more fodder? But we got to go. We have one call, so we want to squeeze that in before we're going to go, because we're going to move on after this, because William Walter is going to be here for our Civic Media Crossover Fridays. Cindy, what do you have to say about any thoughts on the Trump merch? Are you going to buy anything?
Well, I actually have had a bumper sticker in my car for a couple months now that has a picture of his face behind bars, and it says Trump for Leavenworth 2024.
Nice. So do you think
So,
you're going to get an
yeah.
updated one with the real mugshot?
Yeah, I should probably do that, or at least get a bigger one, because I mean, this whole lock her up is coming back to bite him. It's lock him up now, and I think it's just poetic justice that this is coming back to bite him.
It is funny how that works, right?
Yep, and I'd be careful about what I buy for merch, because I hope none of that money is going to go back and fund his, get me out of jail.
His
card.
campaign, yeah. So buyer beware as far as who is selling. But thanks for the call, Cindy. All right. Well, when we come back, William Walter, co-host of Town Call, which is on 12:15 to 1 p.m. every day, right after this show, is going to join us for our crossover Fridays, where we talk to different civic media hosts and get their thoughts on the best, the worst, and the weirdest stories from the week. So stick around. This is As Goes Wisconsin. Welcome back to As Goes Wisconsin. I am Kristen Bry. Greg Bach is on the board, and it is that time of the week when we invite one of our other civic media co-hosts or hosts to join us. We'll recap their opinion on what the best, worst, and weirdest stories from the week were. And today we are joined by William Walter, co-host of Town Call. How are you doing today, man?
Hey, Kristen, I'm here. That's the hard part, right? Getting here. Though I do it via from the safety of my home studio, so it wasn't too difficult. Traffic was not too bad today. It's a little hot out there, so I've been told. I would not know yet.
It's not. It's actually cooled off a lot compared to where it was the last 2 days.
Good.
Did it rain up there near you last night? Because we got like a quick storm.
Yeah, so I have Thursday nights are softball for me, actually, and like 25 minutes before game time, it downpoured at my house for like 15 minutes. I was like, oh, there's no way we're gonna play. 5 minutes from me, not a drop. So game was on.
So there you go. All right. Well, so before we jump into the headlines, for people who do not know you, maybe they jump off of this call, maybe listen to this as a podcast, or not familiar with Town Call. Tell us a little bit about Town Call, and then tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so Town Call, 12:15 to 1. I co-host with our good friend and friend of the show, Luke Mathers. It's a lot of fun. We're trying to bring a new spin to homegrown radio where we kind of let the callers lead the show. They are the talking points. They are the... I don't even know the way I would phrase this, but it's based around how the community could communicate amongst these kind of issues. Everybody knows what I think about these issues already. I want to hear what you think about it. I also serve as the Policy Research Director and Lead Training Organizer for our Wisconsin Revolution, so some boots on the ground organizing to go with our boots on the ground coverage of the GOP debate on Wednesday. It was a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is really fun. So we're very happy to have you on board at Civic Media. But let's dive in. I know you always do on Town Call. You and Luke Mathers, your co-host, do most Wisconsin headlines of the week. So I don't know if there's going to be overlap, or you're previewing stuff that you already have picked out for.
I'm testing my material.
As far as what for you was the best headline or best story of the week?
Well, that's really interesting, Kristen. Words matter, right? We make that joke all the time. Most Wisconsin headline implies, something that just screams, oh, this is Wisconsin. That's how we generally approach it, right? But best and worst and weirdest, now oh, you're throwing all these variables into the equation. I didn't even know where to start. There was so many efforts or attempts to find out and pick the best one. I have a bit of a Ben Shapiro debate lord strategy where I kind of gish gallop Luke. I just throw 10,000 headlines at him because I'm not good at deciding what is or isn't a better or more Wisconsin headline. So I'm like,
Aaron's criteria yet?
I got to work the ref a little bit. Luke has easy access to him, so it's easier for him to manipulate that. So I'll start with. I feel like this is the free bingo square of the week, the low-hanging fruit, but it's too good to not cover. Whether I'm going to say it's the best or the weirdest, it would probably apply to both, but it is a very Milwaukee and very Wisconsin headline from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. Our very own Milverine threw out the first pitch at Tuesday night's Brewer game. Come on, we knew that one was going to come up. Milverine's the man. He was able to get out there. He was able to get the crowd fired up, get the crowd energized a little bit, and then go out and toss out the first pitch against the Twins on Tuesday.
I haven't seen the video of it. Did you watch the video of it? Was it a pretty good pitch?
The form was, there was a little bit of room for improvement, but I've seen worse. Let's put it that way.
Okay, great. All right, so if that is your best headline of the week, what is your worst story of the week?
Worst story of the week was a little bit more difficult because, again, the Milverine story was, come on, that just screams Milwaukee and Wisconsin in particular. I didn't really know where to go with the worst because I didn't know if that meant the most evil or the most malicious. And I think that's what's fun about it, right, is everybody's going to approach that differently. I took a little bit of a different approach then, and I went with, I was perusing the Wisconsin subreddit the past couple of days, and I found a really interesting, we'll say, rant about legalizing skateboarding in Wisconsin. The individual... Well, so I didn't know, and I had to do some follow-up. The individual in the post was talking about how they're not sure if this was allowed in the Wisconsin subreddit, but there's a bill being circulated right now requiring co-sponsorship that would reverse state law that makes riding a skateboard illegal on any Wisconsin roads, including safe municipal neighborhood streets. The reason for the reverse is simple. First off, things like rollerblades that are currently up to local municipalities should apply to skateboards as well. So I went and did some digging. According to skateboardwisconsin.com, the law that makes skateboarding a crime, Wisconsin Statute 346.78, made it illegal to ride a skateboard on any public road in the state of Wisconsin. This law went into effect on April 20th of 1984, Kristen. So this is not new news, evidently. That was almost 10 years before I was even born. as part of the passage of Senate Bill 204 or the 1983 Wisconsin Act 243 that reads, play vehicles are not to be used on roadway. No person riding upon any play vehicle may attach the same or himself or herself to any vehicle upon a roadway or go upon any roadway except while crossing a roadway at a crosswalk. The definition of skateboards was switched to play vehicle according to statute 340.01 that bans skateboards from roads along with coasters, roller skates, sleds, toboggans, unicycles, and toy vehicles. A change in the definition in 1994. So I was, only a year old at that point, but that's more in my timeline. Removed inline skates from the group of play vehicles and left it up to municipalities to decide where inline skates can be used. News to me. This is all news to me, but saw it in the Wisconsin. I am not, but I feel like, growing up, particularly in middle school, a lot of my friends were skateboarders. I feel like they were skating all the time, particularly down, our neighborhood streets. Evidently, that's illegal, and it's up to local municipalities to determine whether or not they're going to punish it. But I thought that was weird. Maybe I should have submitted that for my weirdest one instead of my worst headline of the week.
What makes it the worst out of everything? What makes that the worst story of the week to you?
It's frustrating. It's like over the top, unnecessary. We talk frequently about legislators kind of overstepping their boundaries and or not focusing on things that should be focused on. And I don't know. There are much more important issues than who is using a toy vehicle on the street, and it would make me cry, which was what my other worst headlines of the week were. I didn't go malicious as well.
I feel like that's a pretty weak worst headline because it's not even really a headline. It was just like a discussion on Reddit.
Well, all right. You're gonna get me to Gish Gallop it again, then, Kristen. So, lining up headline number 2, and you asked for it, so don't fault me for this. Giannis Antetokounmpo won't sign extension until commitment from the Bucks. This was the ESPN piece, and I think it's based off the New York Times piece that came out earlier in the week. Giannis Antetokounmpo wants it all, even if it's not in Milwaukee. Giannis evidently has made it particularly clear to a number of reporters, both at the local level and at the national level, that while he wants to be a Dirk or a Kobe, which he specifically mentioned as a individual who spends their entire career, if it's 20 plus years, however long it may be, with one franchise, he can't make that commitment to Milwaukee until he's sure that Milwaukee is ready to make that commitment to him. The quote that I saw from him was basically, I'm sacrificing my time, spending my time away from my family, and I expect other people to be willing to do the same. Which is more than fair, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, and I wonder who
that worries me. It sounds like he's taking shots, right? That there's somebody in the organization he might be frustrated with.
Is it just more money? Is it or is there, because like he from what
it can't
heard,
be
he basically got the green, like he got to green light the new coach. So as far as like giving the man what he wants, like what is he not getting right now? And I'm curious as far as that line of who needs to be sacrificing their time to match his energy that he is referencing in a veiled statement.
Well, as you noted, he had a say in the coach. Maybe it's a shot at the GM that he doesn't think they're building the roster in a way that can be competitive. But we were the number 1 seed in the East last year, and in 21 when we won the title, we were the 3 seed. So it's I don't know. It's really difficult to discern what he's getting at there. I don't think it's about money, because remember, he did sign the Supermax extension, and the current franchise will always have the ability to offer more money through that Supermax extension in an effort to kind of curtail some of the superstars immediately jumping ship to larger, more established networks. Are the Lakers in the future? Are the Knicks in the future? A lot of the Twitter comments on it were, of course, everybody just assumes they're going to go to the Lakers, but Giannis, we need you, buddy. We need you.
We painted a big mural. Stay here, but we'll see. We'll see how long he stays. It would be great if he had. I mean, I feel like, how many players are left? And if anyone out there, if you are a huge NBA fan, trivia nerd, maybe you know this, but is there any current players who are, besides Giannis, Like who's still a one-team player that's a superstar?
I mean, Devin Booker has been with the Suns his entire career.
Suns. Okay.
Trying to think off the top of my head.
Because
I
obviously
mean,
the notorious one is Kobe, who.
Damian Lillard's been with Portland his whole career.
Okay.
In terms of like top end, so Jokic would be the other comparable answer. Embiid has been with Philly his entire career. As you get older, it's a little more difficult, right? Because the teams are going to draft new young superstars to be the future of the franchise. You look at a guy like Chris Paul, who 10 years ago might have been the image of, oh, I want to be a one career player, but then as soon as the Pelicans decided to go in a different direction, he jumped ship once, and then once he jumped ship once, it's easy to go twice, 3 times, 4 times. So I don't know, but in terms of the tippy top of the league, Jokic and Giannis are probably the big two in that regard.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we got less than 3 minutes left, so let's get to your weirdest headline, and then we got a funny text that we'll close out the segment with.
Well, now I'm thinking. Now I think I messed up my order here, and I probably should have went in the other direction. But for weirdest headline of the week, I got to give a shout out to the Wisconsin State Journal. This shouldn't be considered weird, but it's another one that's like, oh, so Wisconsin, because it's like, how was this allowed in the future, in the past, except that it was Wisconsin. So I'm glad they're finally doing something about it. Reading over from the Wisconsin State Journal, open drinking on ATVs would be banned in Wisconsin under bipartisan bill. Why that is not currently banned, I do not know, but the bill, SB 262, comes as advocates and some Wisconsin lawmakers seek to confront the high levels of drinking and alcohol-related crashes in Wisconsin. Under current law, all-terrain and utility vehicle drivers are prohibited from driving if they have a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08 or greater, but unlike in cars, open drinking is not explicitly prohibited on or in ATVs and UTVs.
That's interesting. Can't you get a open container drinking while biking?
You can get an open container while walking.
Yeah, that you can't be drinking in public, and I would imagine if you're on an ATV, isn't that drinking in public?
The amount of people I have to tell to not take their drinks walking outside the club, I'm like, and they like, why? I'm like, what do you mean why?
Is it
What do you mean why? Well, this is an issue that we're seeing a lot. I mean, last year, ATV and UTV drivers received 190 citations for driving while intoxicated, making it the 4th most cited offense related to those vehicles, according to the DNR. So,
there you go. All right, before we go, what text came through?
Wes from Middleton from the 608 said, sounds like this week is going to Luke again. Oh, Wes with the bird.
I'm catching strays everywhere, Wes. Seriously, brother? Oh, no.
All right. Well, William Walter will still be here when we come back, and this will be fun because, Greg, I don't think you've ever had to do the headline quiz.
I did it once.
You did it once?
It was
a
fail.
Greg v. Will. Headlines. Let's see who wins. Stick around. This is As Goes Wisconsin. Welcome back to As Goes Wisconsin. I am Kristen Bry. Greg Bach is on the board, and we are joined by William Walter, co-host of Town Call, which you can hear across the Civic Media Network every day from 12:15 to 1 p.m. And they would love for you to join the conversation and hear from you. The everyday, mostly Wisconsin headlines as far as stories that you can weigh in on. Do you guys do many national topics, or do you try to always pick something that's pretty local? Oh, you're muted.
Oh, my apologies. We try to lead local, but if there's a national story that has to be covered, sometimes there are stories that just have to be talked about.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, so here's some stories that we did not cover this week, and so we always play a game with our guests on Fridays because we all are in the business of reading a lot of news, and so sometimes these are things that you may or may not have read while you were doing your research for the week. So we have 7 questions. 6 are multiple choice. We go back and forth. So you get 3, Greg gets 3, and then the 7th question I will read, and whoever answers correctly the fastest gets that point. Since you were the guest, Will, would you like to go first or second?
Well, Kristen, I haven't been out of high school that long, but you get me on multiple choice tests again. Ugh, killing me. I'll go second. I'll defer.
All right. Greg Bach, you were up first then.
Yeah.
Which country became the first to land a spacecraft on the moon's south pole this week? Is it the USA, Russia, China, India?
India.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, I should have went first. I knew that without even the multiple choice questions.
All right. William Walter. Only one new car model in the United States is currently priced under $20,000. What is it? A Chevrolet Trailblazer, a Volkswagen Jetta, a Kia Rio, or a Mitsubishi Mirage?
Ah man. Let's go with the Kia.
Unfortunately, no. It is a Mitsubishi Mirage.
No.
If you
Yep.
actually, that was the story we did on this show. So had you watched, listened to my show earlier,
I
this
would've
week,
caught it.
Well, you would have gotten it.
The only thing that isn't a fantasy about that car is the price.
It's still $19,000,
I'll-
but
I guess it's cheap.
all right. Here is a Wisconsin headline for you, Greg.
Okay.
I don't think you're good. No, I
Hey,
have faith in you.
What the
Well,
heck?
it's very specific, and it's one that I just found this morning. Considered a
on.
conservation success story in Wisconsin, what wild mammal has a growing population across the Badger State? Is it bobcats, American martens, eastern spotted skunks, or native East Coast UW-Madison students?
Oh, you're funny, Christian. Brian. I'm gonna go with C.
No, it's bobcats.
You know, Bobcats was my first choice, but then I doubted myself. And can I have a half point for at least believing in the? Never
No,
mind.
it's all or nothing. But yeah, as of this morning, WPR reported bobcat population is growing in Wisconsin, but animals are still rare sight to see in the wild. All right, you have a chance to catch up, Will. Another Wisconsin headline. Which Wisconsin congressman climbed a cell tower to raise awareness for broadband issues? Is it Tom Tiffany, Glenn Grothman, Mark Buchan, Mike Gallagher?
Okay, I feel like you're baiting me with this one because just from like a physical ability standpoint, the answer's got to be like Mike Gallagher, right?
Is that your final guess?
Yeah, it has to be. I'm not going to throw any shade at other individuals, but other individuals that I've met personally, I can't see them doing that.
Yes, you are right. Ding, ding, ding. 1-1. But yes, Green Bay congressman climbs cell tower to raise awareness for broadband issues.
I'll just put this out here. If unless there was a pancake breakfast, Glenn Grothman is climbing that.
I didn't want to say it.
I'll say
would
it.
love to see that picture though, because the picture associated, this is another WPR article. You know, he's in his like regalia of like he's about to go rock climbing, and you know, he's a young, pretty fit guy. But yes, trying to swap him out for Glenn Grothman doing a fairly physical, laborious task of climbing a cell tower would have been quite the sight
That's hilarious.
to behold. All right, back to Greg. We're tied up 1-1.
Hello.
Which retail giant opened a 52,000 square foot store in downtown San Francisco? IKEA, Target, Home Depot, Walmart.
I'm gonna go. Oh man, I'm gonna go with IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it, everybody. I'm smart at
There you
guessing.
go. All right. Tie it up to go into the seventh question, Will. The voice of which iconic video game character announced their retirement? Lara Croft, Mario, Sonic. You don't want to hear the other ones?
I know the answer is Mario.
Okay. All right. We're going into the last question. Tie it up. It's me, Mario.
I don't know what the kids know nowadays.
All right. Wisconsin Republicans. So just a reminder. So whoever says it first and correctly
Okay.
will win, because we play for keeps here.
Okay.
Wisconsin Republicans promise eliminating work permits for blank and blank year-olds.
14 and 15-year-olds.
There you go.
Oh,
William Walter, winner for the week.
I was gonna say 7 and 8-year-olds. More on cue for them, if you ask me.
Well,
It wouldn't have been a bad guess.
I was
you know what's funny?
I was too busy running the show, everybody.
Because one of the things I keep getting like parenting advice advertised to me and all my like suggested things to follow on social media.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I actually want to look into is there's financial advice as far as like hiring your children.
What?
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Of, like you can
I've
like
seen
pay
these.
your kids up to $12,000 a year if you
Oh,
have
yes.
an LLC, and it's
Yes.
a way to like it's both a tax write-off
Heck yeah.
and like savings for them.
Yep.
So,
Mhm.
do they need a work permit?
If you're working for an LLC, I say yeah. I would say yes.
So 7 and 8-year-olds work permits?
Okay, well,
I wish my father hired me when I've been cutting the grass for all these years. Oof.
There you go. You just got to, see if you could actually get a paycheck versus, allowance. But what else
It's
do
no
you guys have
longer a
coming up
chore.
today?
What's up?
So what else do you guys have coming up today? Just the
Oh,
headlines?
headlines.
Anything else
It's
you're covering?
Friday. We take a similar route to As Goes Wisconsin. Fridays are fun. I want to make them as fun as possible. If we can get some good headlines, I want to hear some so Wisconsin headlines from the people of Wisconsin, because they got to find better ones than me. I can find some of them, but evidently I'm not even looking at car models, so I'm behind.
All right. Well, William Walter, thank you so much for joining us today. Be sure to tune into Town Call at 12:15 Monday through Friday, where you will hear him and our good friend Luke Mathers. They take your calls, so you should feel free to call in, make your voice heard, put your opinion on the line. But thank you for joining us, buddy. Have a great weekend.
Oh, you as well, Christian. Thanks for having me, Christian and Greg. Take it easy, party people.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, President of the Institute for Reforming Government, CJ Safer, is here to talk about Hayward. He's spent some time up north, so we're going to hear what he has learned about the northern part of the state and also get his view from a conservative point of view, what he thought about Wednesday's debate. So stick around. This is As Goes Wisconsin.